Well, if you're doing a wedding of 1 million, it means you have, say, savings of what, 10 million?
You as couples.
Yeah, it means if you can afford a 1 million wedding, it means you have some 10 million or 9 million set aside somewhere. If your parents fund your wedding, then why should you be surprised if they continue funding everything else, including your rent? You gave them, you opened the door for them. They are not at fault. You opened the door for them and you told them it is okay. So why should you then be surprised when they take over other things, rent, other budgets? You invited them in. There is time I just need to be with my wife, your mother, and then there is time where we have all of us together. If that boundary is not created early enough, children unknowingly become very entitled to their parents' relationships. If that is not cured or seen or identified early enough, it goes into marriage. By the time someone is getting married, I am daddy's girl, I am mommy's boy. By the time this person gets married, the parents cannot remove themselves from their children's relationships. Husbands are told to love because it is difficult. Wives are told to submit because it is extremely difficult. In our nature, men do not know love. Men are logical thinkers, as they say. Men don't know love. Men, we have to be taught how to love. And that's why Jesus Christ had to teach us by going to the cross of Calvary, to teach us and say, this is how love looks like. Women, submission has to be taught. It is not something that comes naturally. We are told to love because it does not come naturally. Women are told to submit because it does not come naturally. For love, love comes naturally.
Now, a quick one. Before we dive into our today's conversation, my team has shared with me figures that have made me stop on my tracks. Apparently, approximately 64.9% of you people who are watching right now haven't subscribed to this channel. And that's not a problem for me. It's a problem for you because YouTube looks at the number and says, if they are not subscribing, then this content must not matter that much. So they will not share this content to another person who really needs to hear the message that we are sharing here today. So do me a quick favor and hit the subscribe button. And when you do hit the subscribe button, I promise you that I'll make sure I bring to you guests that have not only exquisite knowledge, but they'll also be sharing the principalities, the practicalities, the things that have enabled them become the people that have become in life. So hit the subscribe button and let me catch you on today's episode. You might love your parents so much, but letting them rule your home violates God's design for marriage, because Jesus warned us in Matthew chapter 19 verse 6 that whatever God has joined together, let no man separate. And definitely that includes your mother-in-law, your father-in-law, and your sisters-in-law in that preset category. And when even the Bible says in Mark chapter 10 verse 7 that a man shall leave his father and mother, he wasn't talking about moving out. He was talking about emotional independence. He was talking about you as a man realizing that you are responsible for another person. Also, the lady is responsible for you. And that meant that there comes a point in life that your parents cease to take responsibility for you. So today we are going to have a conversation on whether parents can unintentionally or intentionally sabotage the marriages of their children, because we have had so many stories of parents who have gotten involved in their kids' marriages. We have even seen in movies a parent getting involved in her child's marriage or his child marriage, and the marriage ends up falling apart. So for this conversation, we are joined by Pastor Patrick from Trinity Chapel, Kilifi. So this is the conversation where you grab a pen and a paper. And if you know you are having a spouse and you are facing these challenges, this is the time to sit together as a family and get to learn. Pastor Patrick, welcome to our conversation.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Now, before we begin, maybe give us a brief story of who is Pastor Patrick. How did you end up with the title Pastor Patrick? Or in ministry, how did you end up in ministry?
It's been a long journey, but let's begin. I joined pastoral work or pastoral ministry back in the year 2012 as a trainee or as an intern at a church in Mombasa. Um, in 2014, I was then a trainee pastor. Then around the same time, I did meet a very beautiful girl um, when I was still a pastor. She didn't want anything to do with pastors. So she didn't want anything to do with pastors. So we had to almost reintroduce ourselves. But you see, now the thing about being a pastor, you cannot remove the title pastor from your life because the title pastor comes with what you do.
Yeah.
So even if I say I'm not a pastor, by default, what I do is pastoral ministry, which means I'm a pastor. So I met this beautiful girl, and she says she was just coming from a relationship that was tumultuous and turbulent. And she says, I'm currently not interested in not pastors. Of course, we laugh about it because God, in His divine nature, made things work
Yeah.
years later. So we're now married 11 years now
Oh wow.
with someone who was not interested in a pastor. So much of what I might share today is really about our own experience as a married couple.
Okay.
Our own experience as a family, our own experience as pastors who happen to have the privilege of pastoring young people. There was a time when we came to Kilifi in the year 2017.
Yeah.
We came to plant Trinity Chapel Kilifi in 2017. And for about 4 years, I was the oldest person in the congregation. That was quite intimidating to be the oldest person in the congregation. At least now I'm not. At least now we have several of us who are old. We have several of us who are older. So I'm not the oldest person in the congregation. So I have other people I can go to. I have older men I can go to. I can consult. I'm not I'm not the only person who has been married beyond year 10 and above. There are other people who are there who have gone ahead of us, and I can always look up to them. So, like I said, majority or much of the conversation around today is both personal experience, again, borrowing heavily and picking heavily again from scripture.
Okay.
A little bit of that here and there from theology, Bible school. But Bible school, again, no one teaches you to be. Bible school doesn't teach you to be a husband. Bible teaches you to be a pastor. Bible school teaches you to be a pastor.
Okay.
So that is 2012, then 2014. We got married in 2015. I do hear people talk about money and the security of money, and before you get married. I resigned my pastoral position in June of the year that I got married. I got married in September. I resigned in June.
The following year.
No, same year.
Oh, you resigned
I
in
resigned
June?
in June.
Then in September you
In
got
September,
married.
so we had been planning for our wedding in September.
Yeah.
But the place where I was working, I felt my time has come to an end. And for me, I believe I don't overstay in a place.
Okay.
If you overstay in a place, you start undoing the gains that you have done all those years. So I resigned. And as I resigned, I'm resigning knowing very well that in September, we have a wedding that has a budget that we possibly may not be able to meet. But I will tell the young people today, as I always do every other time I have conversations, community is very important. Like having friends. I don't think we didn't do a fundraiser. We just picked a few friends. I think 4 of our friends. We told them this is the thing. We're getting married on this particular date. This is what is expected of you. This is what is expected of you. You guys help us figure this out. And at the end of the day, we allowed them to tell us, hey, this is the money available, and this is the kind of a wedding that this money can get us.
Yeah.
That's fine. If your friends tell you, okay, fine, it's 50,000 that we have, then you ask yourself, what can we do with 50,000? And whatever you can do with 50,000, by all means, do it. 50,000, that's a lot of money. Now, I see people having weddings with serious budgets. I don't think it should be that expensive to do a wedding.
Would you support a wedding budget of, I see glamorous numbers, like someone tells you, I want to do a wedding of 1 million.
Well, if you're doing a wedding of 1 million, it means you have, say, savings of what, 10 million?
You as couples.
Yeah, it means if you can afford a 1 million wedding, it means you have some 10 million or 9 million set aside somewhere. Because why would you do a wedding of 1 million and then you don't have savings or reserves or investments? Probably either 10 times the same or 5 times the same.
Is this statement true? A friend told me, Derek, if you want to get married, in your wedding budget, make sure you have 80% of the funds you are targeting. Don't put it on people that I want a wedding of 1 million, so people have to contribute that money.
I would say it is true and prudent. I mean, it is your wedding. Why are you making it ours? It is your wedding. Well, there is an aspect of community. We come around in weddings and funerals and rashios because there's an aspect, there's something about us. I want to carefully maybe say that because of the fact that we are Africans, we come around together as communities and stand with each other. And that's a good thing. But let it not be that because we come around as friends and family and church, then don't expect us to fund 80%.
Okay.
If you can fund the 80%, in fact, it's very prudent. If you come to me as a pastor and tell me, Pastor, I want to get married, I already have 80% of the budget, I'll say, fine, let's do premarital counseling. And of course, in premarital counseling, I'll ask you, when you bring the person you are supposed to marry, and the first question we ask people is, are you actually physically attracted to each other? Most people will go around and say, we bring too much Christianity and Christianese into these relationships that we never talk about the reality of relationships. Are you actually attracted to one another? Because if you're not, then why are you getting married? Because there are people who come and say they have a feeling, this feeling we want to get married, and one person will argue, I feel in my spirit, this is the right person, I feel. Now the problem with feeling is one day you might wake up and not feel anymore. One day you might wake up and you're like, I don't feel you anymore. What do you do then? So don't go with feelings. For me, if you come to me and say I have 80% of the budget worked up, it's amazing. It is more than amazing. I'll be like, excellent. Because it means you're a prudent steward. Basically means you're only looking for 20%.
Yeah.
And that is easy to rally friends and family and church. So it doesn't become a burden. Yeah. It is not supposed to be a burden. And I pray that moving forward, that is how we do things. If, for example, I'm asking my friends, take me to a Rorashio. We have done this before. And the first question I'll ask you is, how much do you have? Because you can't say, take me to a Rorashio and I have nothing. After all, it is your wife we are getting for you, man. It's not our wife, it is your wife. So how much do you have? Those are the difficult conversations, especially we should have as men. If you come and tell me, Pastor, I need to take me somewhere. Nimeona msichana. Like that's nice. Congratulations. How much do you have? If you tell me you don't, then where are we going? For what reason? It means starting now until your wedding, it will be a bumpy ride. So at least have money is not a requirement to get married. No, it's not. But at least have a plan. Have you want to get married, say next year, December. Starting now, you should be putting aside some funds. At least that's what we need for ourselves. At least start putting aside some funds. So even if you're asking for help, you're going to ask for help from friends, telling them, this is what we have. It's not that you're loading it over your friends. This is our wedding budget. It's different.
Okay.
It is different to come and tell you, this is what we have and this is our wedding budget. It's different if I come to you and tell you, we want to get married next December and this is our wedding budget. And how much have you guys raised? Well, nothing yet, but we are getting there.
Would you advise a couple to fully rely on themselves to fund the wedding than rely even on their families? Because we've had stories. Our conversation today is on whether parents can intentionally or unintentionally destroy their kids' marriage. And we get to a point whereby you have this ambiguous budget of a wedding. Let's say you have 800,000 wedding budget. Then your families decide to fund a half of it. Then now this money they invested in your marriage becomes a ball of contention for everything in that marriage.
Money can be used to manipulate. Money can be used to build relationships. The same money can be used to break and to destroy relationships. I would say it's a healthy balance. Have what you have raised as a couple, but then give your parents and friends the leeway and the privilege to be part of your journey. So it's different when you're telling them, be part.
Okay.
And we are coming to you. It's completely different. I am coming to you for help or be part of our journey. I'm saying, even if you don't, our journey continues. I'm inviting you on our journey as an honor, not as a burden. I'm inviting you on our journey. That way, it creates a very clear demarcation on where your responsibilities lie. It doesn't become something in future, especially in a marriage, that will keep you chained. Because, for example, if your parents fund your wedding, then why should you be surprised if they continue funding everything else, including your rent? You gave them, you opened the door for them. They are not at fault. You opened the door for them and you told them it is okay. So why should you then be surprised when they take over other things, rent, other budgets? You invited them in. So from the onset, let it be clear that boundaries are healthy. Let me take you back to the Bible. In Genesis, the first thing God creates are boundaries. God starts by saying, let there. He separates light and darkness. There is a clear boundary. He separates the waters and dry land. There is a clear boundary. God himself is a God of boundaries. It means even us as his children, created in the image and likeness of God, should be following in the same footsteps. Let's create boundaries. God says there's a spiritual realm and there's a physical realm. And the first time we see God punish the entire world through water, that is Noah's ark, that was a vehicle for salvation. People sometimes don't realize how important boundaries are until I go back to Genesis and ask people, why do you think God punished, cleaned the entire world with water? Why was it so serious of a punishment? Just because they broke a boundary. Bible says the sons of God looked and saw that the daughters of men were very beautiful. So they moved from their spiritual realm and came to the physical realm to sleep with the daughters of men. They broke a boundary. That is how serious boundaries are. So in our case, we should know as early as by the time you guys are dating, there should be boundaries. Your friends should have boundaries. Your relatives should have boundaries. If you don't have them as early as then, don't introduce them later. It doesn't work. It has to be from the onset. Boundaries work when they're introduced early. The same way a child is brought up with boundaries, in future, the child understands that there are boundaries in this home. Boundaries are not made on the go. Boundaries are made from the onset. Things don't end wrong. They say things begin wrong.
I think most of us grow up learning through observation before we get to learn through the other forms, be it writing, be it reading. You growing up, if I can take you back to your early days as a child, you could see your parents interact. You could see how they held the boundaries, how they did this, they did that, how they solved their conflicts. What are some of the things that you picked up from your parents that you've held so much until now that they helped you sustain your marriage for over a decade?
I grew up in the mountains. Grew up in the mountains, and I went to school in very cold areas. So this is very nice for me. I went to school, boarding school in very cold areas. Now, growing up, I told someone I went to boarding school in class 3. They were like, "Wow, your parents must have hated you." I'm like, "No, my parents loved me." But my parents were working. Both my father was working and my mother was working. And it was a time when, when parents come together and meet and they start asking the questions, where is your son going to school? Where is your daughter going to school? And they interact with each other and they realize, oh, there's a school in the middle of, like Kipia somewhere. It's a nice school. And before you know it, you have moved from mountain to the middle of like nowhere in Laikipia. And I was there in boarding school. Every visiting day, my father never missed a single visiting day, and they came with my mother every visiting day. My family came to visit us every visiting day. That for me was a gesture of family. Now, at home, my father started building boundaries very early. Every Sunday, my mother got born again at some point in our lives. When she got born again, her biggest crisis was, now that I am born again, will I continue going to eat nyama choma with my husband, or will I be going to church? And that was answered by my father on Sunday. My father woke up on Sunday and told my mother, twende tukakule nyama. That was my father's way of saying, let's go have fun. And they would just go, the two of them. Of course, at some point you felt jealous. You were like, man, we should be with you guys. But like, they would just go with my mother the whole day. They would just spend the whole day, just the two of them. So of course, I observing them, I felt, so that's how you communicate love. It might be old-fashioned, but for me, I saw, so that's how you communicate love. Okay. I mean, today I'll randomly show my wife and tell, let's take a walk. Let's go have nyama. Let's go sit somewhere. Let's spend time together. I learned from my father, as old as they were, that time together is important. And children, unfortunately, sometimes we make children become like idols. Children come, they grow up, and they leave. That's a reality. The mistake people make is to, when God blesses them with children, is to completely immerse themselves in raising children. When the children grow up and leave, they have no semblance of life for themselves. When the children grow up and leave, they have no semblance of life for themselves.
Will that be the reason why it's so difficult that despite your father or your mother walking you down the aisle on your wedding day, they might find it so difficult to just let you be with your spouse?
I wouldn't say so. Because there were boundaries that were created, I knew that there is their time and there is our time. There is family time, then there is their time. Which means I teach my children the same thing. There is our time, then there is family time. There is time I just need to be with my wife, your mother, and then there is time where we have all of us together. If that boundary is not created early enough, children unknowingly become very entitled to their parents' relationships. If that is not cured or seen or identified early enough, it goes into marriage. By the time someone is getting married, I am daddy's girl, I am mommy's boy. By the time this person gets married, the parents cannot remove themselves from their children's relationships. In my case, my parents, we have 4 boys. We're 4 boys in our family. My mother kept saying, she still says today, that she has done 2 ratios now. There are 2 more to go. So there's the weight of going for 4 dowry negotiations because all of us are guys. But then there's a beauty of, with all these 4 dowry negotiations, you're getting a daughter in all of this. Now, we had to sit with my wife and discuss and agree that these are the boundaries that we set up for our family. If any of our parents come to our place, they know how long they stay. Of course, some people complained it's not African. It is very much. I mean, if you're going to be serious about boundaries, then start with the fact that if you come to my house, it has its rules. It has its rules. So let us, my mother-in-law will come to our house and she'll stay for 3, at most a week. My own siblings will come to our house. They'll stay probably the same time, not longer than that. Because we agreed with my wife before we got married that if your people come home, this is how long they will stay. And it's not different between her people and my people. It's the same. So if my parents come, this is how long they stay. If your parents come, this is how long they stay.
How do you tell your mother that, Mom, when you come to my house, the longest you can stay is 5 days, maximum 7? Because I sat with a friend of mine and she was telling me, Derek, the first time we told our parents that when you come to visit us, you can only stay for this long. My mother told me, ni mimi mamako mwenye nilikulea, nikakuzaa unaniambia hivyo.
The Bible tells us to honor our father
and
mother because it is right. Now, if I tell my mother, actually, between my wife and I think it is very difficult for me now to communicate that even to my siblings because it looks like it's a very difficult thing. But look at it this way. If I don't communicate that, who is going to carry the burden? My wife. If I don't communicate that, hey, you see, I am communicating not because I don't like you as my parents, not because I don't like you as my siblings, but because, one, it's a boundary that I'm creating. But secondly, I'm also creating some semblance of discipline for me. It is not really for them, it is for me. I'm creating a boundary so that I can. The Bible tells us, we had a wedding here on Saturday, and I reminded the couple that was getting married. The Bible reminds us and tells us and reminds us severally that husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church, and then it tells wives to submit. Husbands loving is serving. Now, there's a reason why these words are put in scripture. When you see where a commandment is put in scripture, it's because it is not easy. Husbands are told to love because it is difficult. Wives are told to submit because it is extremely difficult. In our nature, men do not know love. Men are logical thinkers, as they say. Men don't know love. Men, we have to be taught how to love. And that's why Jesus Christ had to teach us by going to the cross of Calvary to teach us and say, this is how love looks like. Women, submission has to be taught. It is not something that comes naturally. We are told to love because it does not come naturally. Women are told to submit because it does not come naturally. For love, women love comes naturally. Submission does not come naturally. So, to the point of, so for me to communicate to my parents, hey, I really want to serve and to love my wife, and for me to do that, I need to protect her. And part of protecting her, it might not look like it to you guys, but for me, part of protecting her is to make sure that she doesn't have a whole tribe of 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 people that she's cooking for. Why would I put her through that? So if you're coming to my place, by all means, please come. But this is the time, a week is how long you can stay. Is that disrespectful? No. It's a boundary that I'm creating. And boundaries are made out of love and respect, actually. Yeah. There's no single boundary that God made out of malice. God creates the Garden of Eden, tells Adam, there are all these trees, but that particular tree of the knowledge of good and evil, you shall not eat.
Real talk. You've probably watched a lot of content that makes you think, but then you scroll away and forget it 5 minutes later. I don't want that to happen here, because on Classified Africa podcast, we don't just chat. We dissect the wealth you are trying to build. We talk about the mindset you need for you to sustain that wealth. And we also converse about the systems that help you become the person that you want to become in life. So subscribing isn't about helping me only. It's about helping you build a library for yourself. A library that you can come back to whenever you want to reset your goals, or whenever you want to go through a topic that you feel has been disturbing you for a while. So do me one favor and hit that subscribe button right below. How do you know you have subscribed to the channel? If the button is in black and written subscribe, then you have not subscribed. But if the button is written subscribed, then you have subscribed. So if you do subscribe to the channel, I give you this promise that I will make sure I bring to you exquisite guests. Well-informed guests will share not only their stories, but perspectives and principles that have enabled them become the people that they have become in life. Hit that subscribe button and let's get back to our video.
Finishes by saying, because the day that you eat, you shall surely die. He was telling Adam, you can eat from all these trees, but that particular one, don't eat, because the day you eat, you will die. So I am telling you to create this boundary, because if you break the boundary and eat the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, you will surely die. So boundaries are not made with malice. Boundaries are made with love. So when I tell my parents and my people, you're coming to my place, but this is how long you can stay, I am more than glad to get a B&B for you. Seriously, I am more than glad. If you're going to stay for longer than a week, I am more than glad to pay for B&B for you.
But they can come during the day and see you.
Past a week, you can come sleep and eat at my home. That's fine. But beyond a week, that you really push it, I'm more than glad to pay for an Airbnb. That's fine. You have to understand that I'm not doing this. I'm not kicking you out. I'm not pushing you away. I'm saying I have a bride to protect and to cover. I am not going to expose her to cooking for a tribe of people. Or my wife is, I'll give you an example. My wife is extremely introverted. On the other hand, I am extremely extroverted. So I am the person who will go get 10 guys, hey, let's go home. My wife has something cooked. And my wife will be like, okay, oh, and now being a pastor's wife makes it even more difficult. Oh, you're here. Now, my wife loves her time and her space. That's just how she is. Again, marriage is knowing this is how my wife is, this is how my husband is. And you live together with the understanding that because my spouse is this kind of a person, then I treat them that way. I respect their space. When we go to the public, when you go to visit our parents, I respect her space. If you go to our parents, again, the example, when we go home, we visit our parents, and then I visit their parents. We visit both parents for the same amount of time. When we go home to visit our in-laws, she can stay at her in-laws' place for as long as she wants, because we don't visit often.
There is a crisis somewhere that I've personally witnessed it firsthand, whereby people get married, and sometimes even your parents might influence you into marrying into a certain family because of maybe wealth, because of money, because they feel like if you get married to that family, I'll be supported financially, I'll be supported, maybe your siblings will be supported. Actually, I've interacted with the ladies who have told me, the man I married was not because I loved him. it is because my parents forced me to get married, so that because they saw the boys from a rich family. I was reading a book, I Will Marry When I Want, by Ngugi wa Thiong'o, and he speaks of the story of Kingunda and Wangeshi, and the family trying to force their daughter into the wealthy family for marriage, and later things go sideways. At some point in my home, my sisters got married. I happened to be the only boy among 6 girls, and out of the 6 girls, one is my twin, the other one is the youngest, and the others are the oldest. So the oldest 3 get married. So my mom gets very angry because my sisters don't give her money. Then one day my father tells me, you know what, son, it's not the duty of these children to give us money. And that is something your mother should learn, and that is something you should learn. That it's not the duty of your child to give you money. It's not the duty of your child's husband to give you money. How do you handle such a conflict? If it arises in marriage now, that the parents are feeling like, you need to help us. You need to give me money. You need to do for me shopping every month. You need to do this for me.
I think it's only in Africa where we use children as a retirement plan. True story. I think it's only in Africa where children become our retirement plans. You have no retirement plan. Your retirement plan is your children will look after you. Am I saying it's a bad thing for your children to look after you? No. But it is wrong to expect and to plan that your children are your retirement plan. It's like saying now that it's like using your parents. I mean, it's using each other. It's like using your parents and saying, utatoka block, using your parents. They will do the same when they get old. They'll use you as a retirement plan. So don't do that. In my opinion, I think these things happen this way. So when it comes to money, again, if you're going to get married, and this person you're getting married, can you at least agree the basics when it comes to money? Basics is who between the two of you, who is better at handling money? Okay?
Okay.
God in his wisdom created us and gifted us very differently. In every marriage, there is one person who is gifted at looking for the money, and most of the times the person gifted at looking for the money is not gifted
In maintaining the
managing the money. He's not gifted at managing the money. So that God in his infinite wisdom says, you know what, I'm going to give you someone who is either good at looking for the money or good at maintaining and managing the money. Now in that case, so those are the basics. When it comes to parents and interference when it comes to money issues, I say this again out of our own experience. Generosity, there's what I call priorities when it comes to generosity. God gives you money. It is at the end of the day. Let's start with the basics. That it is God who supplies to our needs.
Okay.
Number one, it is God who blesses the work of our hands because He has promised to bless the work of our hands, which means I have to go out and do something with my hands so that God can bless the work of my hands. And when God blesses the work of my hands, then I have a priority list. Let me call it a priority list. Number one, giving back to the church community. That is the priority list, is giving back to the church community in terms of how does the church even operate, giving back to the church. Number two is my family. My family means the nuclear family. The Bible does mention that the man who does not take care of his family is worse than a pagan. So if by any chance, and because this happens, where a man says, I am earning money, but I'm giving all the money to the church, that is almost like being like a pagan. There's a place for the church, there's a place to provide. Your family comes first. Then your extended family now, where your parents come in,
Your siblings, your aunt.
It is not an expectation. It is, we have sat down, we have agreed, this is the money we have. Okay? Of the money that we have, this is the money, this is how much we are giving in terms of whether tithes or offering. This is how much we are giving. Let's say even 10%. Okay? Then, after that, this is how our family budget looks like. Let us fund the family budget, whatever percentage that might be, let us fund the family budget. After that, and by family budget, I mean every expenditure of my family, that is my wife and I and children. Okay. After that, there's a place for generosity. Generosity is giving back, whether it is, now this is where now parents come in. If there is money that has been left over, and this is an unpopular saying, if after doing the budget, giving back to the church and giving back, to the family, and this we have funded our budget, whatever remains, we agree. This month, we're going to send your family a token. It's not an expectation. It's a token of appreciation.
Okay.
And I communicate it because it's not an expectation, so that your parents don't budget with it every month. Yeah, your parent might say, hata sisi kwa budget yetu, we expect every month
You
that
send us this
there's like a
amount.
20K that is coming from somewhere. No. If it doesn't come,
It's okay.
nakosana. If it comes, you're okay. If it doesn't come, they're okay. Of course, there are various dynamics to it. Okay? So you have to agree. Then the following month, it goes to this other family. So it is cyclical or rotational basis. And that is if it's available. It is not an expectation. It is not even a scriptural expectation. It is not a scriptural expectation for me to give money to my parents.
But the
It is
Bible.
a scriptural expectation for me to honor my parents.
A parent tells a child that the Bible says, honor your father and mother.
Yes.
They have already weaponized that against the children.
That's manipulation.
And then the child tells the mother that the Bible says that I will leave my family and join. So you find that a parent tells you it is mandatory for you to take care of your parent because the Bible says honor your father and mother. How
Is
do you
it
handle
mandatory? Let's start with one. Let's start with Genesis, where it says, for this reason,
this? Yeah.
a man,
Shall live.
okay? It is a man who lives, okay? I believe this should be from 24, Genesis 2:24.
Yeah.
Let me see, Genesis 2:24. Yes. After God makes God makes Eve from the side of Adam. In verse 23, the man wakes up from the deep sleep that he was in, looks at Eve, and responds with a song or a poem. This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman. It is the man who called Eve the woman. And then he says, for she was taken out of man. That is the context of the following verse. That is why a man leaves his father and mother and is united to his wife, and they become one flesh. Why? Because something was removed from Adam that only is restored at marriage. Whatever it is that was removed from Adam's side. Some people speculate it is the emotional part of a man. Some people speculate a lot of things. I just like saying something was removed from the man that is only made full or made complete at the point when they become one, husband and wife. Without that, and it is evident, without husband and wife becoming one, men will run wild because there is something missing. There is something missing. There is something that was removed from man that is only again brought back or made complete at the point they become one flesh. That is why it says a man lives.
So does that mean it is mandatory for one to get married?
No, it is not mandatory. Paul says it's a gift. For some, it's a gift to actually, for him, he says celibacy. Celibacy is a gift of God. I mean, I hear people throw it around that it's, it is not, it's not enablement. It's not something you wake up one day and say, oh, I am celibate. No. It's a gift of God. Celibacy is a gift of God. There are people who actually, God has intentionally said, this person no longer get married because in their singleness, they are glorifying God in one or another. Either they're doing missionary work, which means they are free to do that. In fact, Paul says he wishes all people are like him because he was able to move from one town to the other, sharing the gospel, planting churches. He was saying, you're not like me. If you're not like me, go ahead and marry. Don't burn with passion. Go ahead and marry. But back to the living part, the man lives so that he can cleave. Cleaving is related to hang on to. Okay? So what's the point if I left my family to go and start a new family? Now, this family that I've gone to start is not dependent on this family that I left. This family is not subservient on this family that I left. These two families are equally the same. There's no senior family and there's no junior family.
Yeah.
God blesses us with wealth and God blessing us with resources. I give out of the goodness of my heart and out of generosity. The people, the scripture that people might quote is when Paul writes to Timothy and says, the man who does not provide for his family is worse than a pagan. But this is talking about your wife and your children. If you don't provide for your wife and your children, you're worse than a pagan. That is for sure. It doesn't talk about your mother and your father. It doesn't talk about provision for your mother and father. Because it is true, if that happens, it is going to be a downhill trend of manipulation. Because now it becomes, you're bound to, because that is supposed to be honoring your father and mother. I don't think so. I think the prudent thing, and I'm saying this as I am also telling myself as a parent, the prudent thing is to allow your children to go and start over their lives elsewhere. And you also continue with your lives because your lives are not intertwined. Let your children prosper. Let your children go prosper and come home. And when they come home, allow them to. It is a very refreshing thing to go home without having to feel the burden of, have to really look for a lot of money before I go home. And I think that is the reason why people stopped going home, especially young people, because they have to look for money. They have to look for money.
You have to go
borrow
home with
money,
sugar.
borrow money. I don't think so. I think every parent wants the best for their children. Are we living in a world of sin? Yes. So that may change, or that changes. Every parent, I want to believe, every parent wants the best for their children. They want the best for their children. No parent wants their children's marriages to fail. No parent wants their children's families not to prosper. I think it is a boundary thing. I think it is not an expectation on children or marriages to fund their parents' lifestyles or their parents' life. It's not a biblical expectation. Is it a societal expectation? It could be a societal expectation, but it doesn't make it right.
Now, you are both married.
Yes.
Sometimes there are challenges.
We are not both married. We are married.
Yes, you're now married. And there are challenges in the marriage that comes maybe with finances and stuff. And your family decides to chip in and help, be it your mother, be it your father. Should this help, that is sounding like an act of generosity, become a ball of contention that the parents must expect from their children to give it back?
So let's say, for example, I'm struggling in one way financially or the other, and my mother decides to help.
Yeah.
It doesn't become an expectation on my part. It doesn't become an expectation on her part. I think the thing where we fail is in communication.
Okay.
It's in communication. I can call my mother and tell my mother, I need this an amount of money for ABCD. My mother, if she has the funds, she'll send. Is it an expectation? No, it's not an expectation. Does it mean next month she'll send me the money? Not necessarily. Because what happens then is, if you keep asking for money from your parents, they start wondering, so why did you leave? Okay. Why did you leave? You can, if you keep asking for money, then they wonder, why did you leave? Which is very much, it's a concern. I mean, if my daughter left or my son left, and then every other month they're asking me for money, I'll be concerned. Then why did you leave? Were you ready? That's the problem of every other month asking for money. Every parent is concerned and should be concerned if it becomes a habit that my children ask me for money every month. And it is money for rent, money for this. It should be a concern.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the marriage, your mother comes and is constantly criticizing your wife. Most of the time, the son will decide, let me be quiet and just watch. To others, they'll even side with the mother. Very few will say, you know what, mom, she is my wife. If there is something that I feel is wrong, I'll address it with her. Because maybe you'll find, as you say, your parents come visit, then maybe in their home. Actually, this is a conversation we're having at work. That at home, back at our home, maybe where I grew up, we are used to taking dinner at 8 p.m. But now, since me and my wife are all working, I get back at home at 7. She might get home at 6:30 or 7, sometimes 7:30, or we might even both get home at 8 p.m. We take a 30 minutes rest, then cook by 9. So at around 9:30 is when we're having supper. And since my mother has come to visit, and she's used to that culture of hers of having dinner latest by 8:30, she feels like my wife is failing on her duties. How do you now set these boundaries and tell, you know what, mom, you are used to this at your place? The mother-in-law thing and effects and all this, how do you as a son now solidify it with your mother, or even you as a daughter solidify it with your mother that, you know what, mom, I am a grown-up, I can do this on my own. Just respect it.
Again, it goes back to 1, communication. But 2, please remember that when I married my wife, part of the vows is to love, to cherish, to protect. So part of protecting my wife is when my parents are around, when my mother is around. One of the challenges is women are competitive. My mother will come to the house and my mother has an undue advantage against my wife. My mother has known me since I was a baby.
Yeah.
My wife has known me as a grown man. So if the two are to compete, who do you think would win? In terms of preferences, my mother can say, my son loves this. And then my wife says, no, my husband loves this. Who will win?
The mother.
Yeah. So why should I put undue pressure on my wife just because my mother knows me? Yes, she knows me, but I can't marry my mother. You didn't marry your mother, you married a wife. And because you married a wife, it doesn't matter. One day, my mother came to our home.
Mhm.
When she came to our home, I want to really, really thank God for having Christian and born again mother and mother-in-law. My parents, my mother, my in-laws are born again, and my mother is born again. My mother comes to our home, and in a very interesting show of respect, she went to the kitchen to cook. But before she went to the kitchen to cook, she asked my wife for directions. Like, where are the sufurias? And how do you guys make ugali in this house? Because everyone makes ugali in their own house differently. Unaongezanga unga maji kichemka. People make ugali differently. My mother was basically saying, this kitchen is not my kitchen. This kitchen is your kitchen. How do you handle things in your kitchen? It may look very subtle, it may look like it's nothing, but my wife felt very honored. It felt, this is another woman's kitchen. Don't go to another woman's kitchen and start saying, oh, my husband has, my wife, my son has always loved minji. So I'm going to make, my wife is there thinking, no.
Because also I think whatever we lack changes when we grow up.
Yes, it changes. For example, I loved Githeri at some point. Now I do. I didn't like it because I was rebelling from high school use. But now I like it. So with time also and with age, a lot of things change. So the person who really knows me intimately is actually my wife. So allow her to tell you, what does your son right now actually like? Because she knows you. These two women both happen to know you. Your mother knows you, your wife knows you, but they know different versions of you. My mother knows a younger version of me. My wife knows a mature person, a mature version of me. Does it mean they don't know me? They know me. But now there is a part of my mother knows me as a child. Okay? And this relationship did not get severed, but when I left this relationship, I left and cleaved to my wife. So as far as covenants are concerned, I am now bound to my wife, not to my mother. I am now bound to my wife. I'm going to stand before God and give an account about my wife, not my mother. So how I treat my wife, how I protect her, part of protecting her is to make sure that when my mother comes into the house, it doesn't become a fight. It doesn't become a hall of, I know this and you don't know this. It shouldn't be like that. Again, I start with the premise that when you decide to get married, there are some basics that you agree on. One, I pray that there's a basics of, if you're a believer, of course, please, by all means, marry a believer. If you're a believer, marry a believer. You'll have less worry and less stress in this world. Hopefully that when you're a believer and you're marrying a believer, hopefully your parents are also believers. There are some things that are eased by the fact that both of you are believers. For us, it has been eased by the fact that our parents are believers. But now the other beautiful thing, distance. Distance helps. My mother is in Nairobi. I'm in Kilifi. How do you expect my mother to come and visit my house every other day? Of course, no.
So basically, you are saying
Distance helps.
the fact that, especially in our Luhya community, whereby you get married, then there is
And
that
stay in the same homestead.
Yes.
Don't do that. There's an example in the Bible of Jacob. Jacob marries Leah and doesn't live. Then marries Rachel and doesn't live. And Jacob stays with Laban, his father-in-law, for years. And that strains their relationship. Even the wives can tell there is a strain in this relationship. It completely removes the respect a son should have for the father-in-law, or the father-in-law should have for the son-in-law. That is a problem. You don't marry and stay. You live. That's the point of living. So the question comes, so what if my parents are well able and they get us an apartment? That's fine. But I can choose to stay in that apartment, or I can choose to rent it out and go look for a house elsewhere. This thing of, I'm coming from work, I pass by my mother's place and then I go home, is a no. It's breaking marriages. Your mother and your wife should never have to compete.
As we wrap up this, a mother or a family are sitting down listening to this. What would you tell the couple that are trying so hard to separate between the mother's tears and their marriage? They feel like, we need to, they are our parents, we need to do this, we need to do that. But also at the same time, there is a guilt in them that, you know what, you people need to stand on your own. What is that one truth you will tell any young person? And also at the same time, tell parents that these children, this is marriage, leave them. And also, which truth can you tell the young people that are getting married that, you know what, if you are going to walk down the aisle, if you are going to recite those vows before the altar of God, if you are going to do this, then know that it is going to be a journey of 2 people and not 4 people.
Let me speak to parents first.
Okay.
By speaking to parents and speaking to myself is that when my children get to the age where they want to get married, them leaving is honoring God and honoring me. Because I actually expect them at some point to leave. That is honoring. Now, me holding on to them is not honoring to God. Me expecting them to pay me back for bringing them, paying school fees, you what, that expectation is not a love thing. No one should carry their children in such a way that it's almost like I have an expectation that all the money I spent on you, I should have it back at some point. That is not godly, it is not honoring. Now, let me speak to children. By the time people are getting married and choosing a spouse, getting married, there should be I say the non-negotiables. One of the non-negotiables is to agree. Again, let me do from our own life. We agreed everyone deals with their parents. I deal with my parents. My wife deals with her parents.
Okay.
It is a big mistake for me to talk to my in-laws and tell them, by the way, don't come to my house anymore. No, everyone deals with their own. Why? It is when I talk to my parents, I'll tell them, when you come to my house, you stay for this long. They will not hate me. They will not despise me. They will not think anything because they know me. But if my wife was to tell my mother, when you guys come to our house, please stay for only 7 days, how do you think it will go? Oh, mwanaume ulioa, mwanamke mwenye ulioa. It looks like it is your wife's fault. That's why everyone deals with their own people. When it comes to our family, I deal with my side of the family. When it comes to her, she deals with her side of the family. I don't interfere, she doesn't interfere. You deal with your own people because your own people cannot hate you. You are their child. They will not hate you. If you tell them in my house, when you come to my house, this is how long you stay, these are the rules in my house, they won't hate you. At the end of the day, your sister, you're their sister, you're their brother, they will not hate you. But when it becomes a cross relationship, that's where it becomes a problem now. And they start looking at you, you are the enemy. Since you came into this home, we are not being sent money anymore. Since you came to this home. So even when money is available, we're talking about money. When money is available, I send it to my people. It's not my wife who sends it to my... When money is available on her end, she sends it to her people. Everyone deals with their own people. Because that way, it keeps the relationships very respectful. No one will say, this month money was not sent because someone interfered. The wife interfered.
How many bank accounts should a couple have?
That's like asking, whose money is it? When 2 people come together, you live to clean, you become one. Why are you becoming one in everything else apart from money? Become one. Again, my advice has always been, when you married this person, if they have a bank account, it's okay to have a joint account. It's what you agree. There's nothing cast on so that this is how you should do things. It's what you agree. I've seen marriages that thrive where people have a joint account. Ideally, yes. So that when you do a budget, there is someone who's responsible to pay the bills. In my house, My wife is way better with dealing with finances than I am. I would say mine is to look for the money. She's way brilliant than I am in finding or managing the money, even investing the money than I am. In that case, let her run the money. At the end of the day, both of you, money belongs to both of you. Where there is trust, money belongs to both of you. Why would you have several accounts as a couple? Banks would love that. Banks would love that. But for you as a couple, why do you have many accounts? You have one account, a joint account, that's enough.
Okay.
Or agree, you're the one dealing with money, you're the one paying the bills, that's fine. One person, money comes in, all the bills are paid, and deal. Let's not complicate things.
So
it's not supposed to be complicated.
The crucial principle here is whatever you agree on.
That's it. Whatever you agree. At the end of the day, this marriage is between the two of you.
Okay.
Even me as a pastor, I can advise, but it remains to be that advice. You can take it or leave it. I can advise you, then you go home and you say, I don't like pastor's advice. This is what we think I should. That's fine. As long as it's, at the end of the day, as long as it stays biblical.
Okay.
I am not into people's houses. I normally say this as a joke here in church, but it is serious. If you know the way people come for prayers, if you come for prayers once, twice, and you're married, then we have a problem. If a woman comes for prayers once or twice, even once is enough. Why am I praying for you? You have a husband. Let your husband pray for you. Yes. Your husband has authority. Your husband has authority than I have. Why am I praying for you? Your husband should pray for you.
What if the husband doesn't know how to pray?
Huh?
What if the husband does not know how to pray?
What do you mean the husband doesn't know how to pray? It doesn't matter. Even if he prays the Lord's Prayer, that is enough. The point is, the authority the husband have, I don't have. That's the thing people don't understand. The authority that our husband has over our wife, that I don't have. The authority a father has over a child, I don't have. So I leave it to the, and I said, when it comes to a wedding, a wife leaves the mother and the father and is joined to the husband. There is a transfer of authority, and from there henceforth. That is why when you settle and your wife tells you now she wants to go to school, you don't tell her to go and ask the father. It is your burden to carry, because carry it.
Okay.
Agree. That's the most important part. What you agree on.
Okay. I think a lot has been shared, and the key lessons that you have picked from today's conversation are so many. But what stands out for me is when we have to agree on what we are to do. And the most important thing is communication. Now, it's a conversation that cannot end today, but we will get to have ways to continue the conversation. You can share with us in the comment section. How have you been able to handle your parents, your spouse's parents? How are you able to handle your siblings? How have you ensured that your marriage is not interfered by what we call extended family? Trinity, again, I really want to appreciate you for staying up to this far. And if you have watched this video till this far, then remember to leave us a comment in the comment section, like, subscribe, and share. Till we meet again, have yourselves a lovely week.